top two shelves of both of my bookshelves are my classic books. They're organized according to height and also according to the editions that they're in. I have my Black Penguin books, and then next to them I have my English library classics, and then next to those I have my vintage children's classics, which are so beautiful, and then next to them I have Orange Penguin books, and then a Lord of the Rings trilogy box set, and then also my Pineapple pen, of course. So those are my classics. Underneath that on this shelf I have my YA books, mostly trilogies, mostly hardback. The hardback ends at Paper Towns. We have the Divergent trilogy, the Legend trilogy, some single books, some contemporary, and then we end up with John Green books. I also have my reading light, which is attached to the shelf and shines very conveniently onto my reading chair, which is awesome. To the right of that I have my regular size paperbacks. The top is sort of color coded and the bottom is series and trilogies. I have my Harry Potter set and paperback right above my box set, which is awesome, and then I have 4 sets of trilogies. On the shelf below we have my Harry Potter box set, some other box sets, and then the Twilight series. This is what it looks like inside the Harry Potter box set. It is so beautiful, and then these are the box sets right next to it. Then we have some other random books, and then the Twilight series. On the left of that we have sort of a display section with a lot of pineapples, which I love. On the left side there is a pineapple chalkboard that says bookshelf on it, and it's actually attached to the light above, and behind that there's a tiny box, a tea light, and some TBR books that I need to read that come from my TBR jar, which has tiny little books in it, which are the books that I need to read in the future. Then we have my beaded pineapple, which has a fake light in it, and then next to that I have my gold pineapple, and that is everything that's on the left side. In the middle we have an arrow that's pointing to the right and it has lights on it. It points to my camera money box thing, and underneath that is where I put the books that I want to read for that month, and then behind everything are pineapple canvases. Directly below that I have my tall hardbacks and my tall paperbacks stacked to the right. To the right of that I have this shelf with a collection of different books. On the left side are my review copies and also books that didn't fit anywhere else. Next to that are some pocket-sized editions of Jane Austen books. On top of that I have a pineapple book and also a Rubik's Cube. The pineapple book are actually post-it notes, which is really cool, and then I have a blue pineapple, some death notes, some graphic novels, and Grimm's Fairy Tales. The blue pineapple is where I put my TBR books after I finished reading them from my yellow pineapple. Then we have my mass paperback size books. On the left is the A Song of Ice and Fire series, and in the middle is the Millennium trilogy. To the right we have some recent purchases and random books. There's a light of pineapple on the left and also a tiny jar with a verse and sand from South Africa in it. There's a letter holder with a pineapple and also post-it notes with pineapples on them, of course. I use the letter holder to put the dust jackets of the books that I'm currently reading in, and also there's a framed picture of my little sister. On this shelf there are black and white boxes with miscellaneous tech, bookmarks, and cases in them. The shelf to the right has some cases, some notebooks, and some Agatha Christie and James Patterson books. The bottom shelf has some books I bought from libraries, some random books, and also some Goosebumps, and some old notebooks and planners. The final shelf is my religious shelf. I haven't bought any new books for this section since my last bookshelf tour, so if you want to see the books individually, then check that video out. On the left side there are 4 editions of the Bible, in the middle there are daily devotionals and inspirational books, on the right there is a USB lamp, some chalk on top, and then some smaller books. Selected poems of Dorothy Hewitt. The Fairy Queen Books 3 and 4 by Edmund Spenser. The Turkish Ambassadors by Lady Mary Wortley Montagu. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, Dracula by Bram Stoker, The Voyages of Dr. Dolittle by Hugh Lofting, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Emma by Jane Austen, The Odyssey by Homer, A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Writings by Charles Dickens, Collected Plays Volume 1 by Patrick White, Tracts by Robin Davidson, Middlemarch by George Eliot, Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert, The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne, Tales of the Pacific by Jack London, Anna of the Five Towns by Arnold Bennett, Orinoco and Other Writings by Aphra Behn, Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Iliad by Homer, A Sentimental Journey by Lawrence Stern, The Odyssey by Homer, Lysistrata and Other Plays by Aristophanes, Typee, A Peep at Polynesian Life by Herman Melville, Utopia by Thomas More, The Theban Plays by Sophocles, The Lawless Roads by Graham Greene, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, Villette by Charlotte Bronte, Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, Emma by Jane Austen, Bleak House by Charles Dickens, Persuasion by Jane Austen, The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, The Silver Sword by Ian Serraillier, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith, The Ball Family by Noel Streatfield, The Railway Children by E. Nisbet, Peter Pan by J. M. Barrie, The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, What Katie Did by Susan Coolidge, The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling, Peter Duck by Arthur Ransom, Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery, The Adventures of Robin Hood by Roger Lancelyn Green, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, On the Road by Jack Kerouac, The Lord of the Rings box set, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, all by J.R.R. Tolkien. Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant, all by Veronica Roth. Legend, Prodigy, and Champion, all by Marie Lu. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, Seraphina by Rachel Hartman, Eleanor and Park, and Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews, Winger by Andrew Smith, Every Day by David Levithan, An Abundance of Catherines, The Fault in Our Stars, Paper Towns, and Looking for Alaska, all by John Green. Eon and Iona by Alison Goodman. The Maze Runner, The Scourge Trials, The Death Cure, and The Kill Order, all by James Dashner. Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion, The Intern by Gabrielle Tozer, Tinkers by Paul Harding, Atonement by Ian McEwan, Matters of Life and Death by Renan McClaverty, Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden, Atlantis by David Gibbons, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, 44 Scotland Street by Alexander McCall Smith, The No. 1 Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith, Ransom by David Malouf, Love Song by Elizabeth Jolly, The Man of Mo by George Etheridge, The Twits by Roald Dahl, The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, Cargo by Jessica Au, We the Drowned by Carsten Jensen, Graveminder by Melissa Marr, The Twisted Heart by Rebecca Gowers, Wonder by R.J. Palacio, The Universe vs. Alex Woods by Gavin Extance, Lover of Scotland by Alexander McCall Smith, Blueback by Tim Winton, Nicholas A. North by William Joyce and Laura Geringer, The Man Who Loved Children by Christina Steed, This Thing of Darkness by Harry Thompson, Girl with the Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier, Wool by Hugh Howey, The Boat by Nam Lee, 5 Bells by Gail Jones, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, all by J.K. Rowling. The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay, all by Susan Collins. Cinder, Scarlet, and Chris, all by Marissa Meyer. Poison Study, Magic Study, and Fire Study, all by Marie V. Snyder. The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Ask and the Answer, and Monsters of Men, all by Patrick Ness. Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. Glow by Amy Kathleen Ryan. Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, all by J.K. Rowling. The Tale of Beedle and the Bard, Quidditch Through the Ages, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, all by J.K. Rowling. The Etymologicon and the Horologicon, both by Mark Forsyth. The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivy, The Collected Works of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner, Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, and The Host, all by Stephanie Meyer. Solar by Ian McEwan, Krampus the Yule Lord by Brom, We Are Eternal by Pierrette Fletcher, and This by Carol Shields, Those in Peril by Wilbur Smith, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, Dark House by Alex Barclay, The Red Queen, and The Lady of the Rivers, both by Philippa Gregory, Wedlock by Wendy Moore, Trinity Fields by Bradford Morrow, Across the Universe by Beth Revis, The Diviners by Libba Bray, The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters, all by Laini Taylor. Red Rising by Pierce Brown, A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, Marble Heart by Gretel Mulrooney, Innocence by Pierre Magnan, Cage of Stars by Jacqueline Mitchard, Light and Dark by D.M. Fife, An Exclusive Love by Johanna Dorjan, The Child Thief by Brahm, Red Sky in the Morning by Paul Lynch, Random Magic by Sasha Soren, The Lost Runaway by Tracy Chevalier, More Than This by Patrick Niss, The Academy Introductions by C.L. Stone, Chasing the Dark by Sam Hepburn, Break the Strewn While Everywhere, and Everything is Connected by Carrie Smith, Northanger Abbey, Persuasion, Mansfield Park, and Emma, all by Jane Austen, Death Note Volume 1, Death Note Volume 2, Death Note Volume 3, and Death Note Volume 4, all by Sugumi Ova and Takashi Obata, Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi, The Sleeper and the Spindle by Neil Gaiman and Chris Riddle, Saga Volume 1, Saga Volume 2, Saga Volume 3, and Saga Volume 4, all by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, The Complete Grimm's Fairy Tales illustrated by Arthur Rackham, A Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords Part 1, Steel and Snow, A Storm of Swords Part 2, Blood and Gold, A Feast for Crows, and A Dance with Dragons, all by George R. R. Martin, The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides, The Keeper of Secrets by Judith Cutler, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Played with Fire, and The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, all by Stieg Larsson, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, Hide and Seek by James Patterson, The Town in Bloom by Dodie Smith, No Second Chance by Harlan Coben, Grasshopper by Barbara Vine, The Scent of Shadows by Vicki Peterson, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, Dark Places, and Gone Girl both by Gillian Flynn. Who could that be at this hour? When did you see her last? And Shouldn't She Be in School by Lemony Snicket, The Bridget Jones Omnibus The Single Years by Helen Fielding, Noggin by John Corey Whaley, The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, The Narrow Road to the Deep North by Richard Flanagan, The Road by Cormac McCarthy, The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simmons, Smart by Kim Slater, The Lottery by Beth Gooby, Stolen by Lucy Christopher, Grasshopper Jungle by Andrew Smith, The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson, Drift by Penny Rosson, Beautiful Creatures, and Beautiful Darkness both by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, Murder on the Orient Express, and Sad Cypress both by Agatha Christie, Ninth Judgment, and Eighth Confession both by James Patterson, Where the Children Cry by Jenny Jones, Echo Park by Michael Connelly, To Die For by Tissa Barclay, The Tomb of Reeds by Sarah Bayless, Yayas in Bloom by Rebecca Wells, 60 Lights by Gail Jones, The Quilter's Apprentice by Jennifer Schiavarini, Because He's My Brother by Helen Beaglehall, Strange Defeat by Mark Bloch, One for Sorrow, Two for Joy by Clive Woodall, Enclave by Anna Guire, Hotel Sarajevo by Jack Hirsch, The Finishing School by Gail Godwin, The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood by Rebecca Wells, The Silence of the Sirens by Adelaida Garcia Morales, Something Special by Iris Murdoch, The Best of Friends by Johanna Trollope, White Turtle by Merlinda Bobbis, Miracle from the Streets by Sherry Peters, Scream School, The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, Be Careful What You Wish For, Don't Go to Sleep, Vampire Breath, The Werewolf of the Twisted Tree Lodge, Phantom of the Auditorium, One Day at Horrorland, The Knight in the Screaming Armor, Stay Out of the Basement, and Beware the Snowman, all by R.L. Stein. Raffles the Amateur Cranksman by E.W. Hornung, Murder on Astor Place by Victoria Thompson, and The Norton Anthology of American Literature.